Hi, my name is Jordan Hogue, and I'm a pastor at the Well Community Church in Fresno. I'm going to bring you your moment with God today from Colossians chapter 1, verses 15 through 20. Paul writes, "He is the image of the invisible God, the firstborn of all creation. For by him all things were created in heaven and on earth, visible and invisible, whether thrones or dominions or rulers or authorities, all things were created through him and for him. And he is before all things, and in him all things hold together. And he is the head of the body, the church. He is the beginning, the firstborn of the dead, that in everything he might be preeminent. For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell, and through him to reconcile to himself all things, whether on earth or in heaven, making peace by the blood of the cross." I don't know what you think about when you think about God. A.W. Tozer tells us that that's the most important thing about us, what you think about when you think about God. I know I grew up in the Simpsons age where my idea of God was some lofty man with a beard and white hair, balding pattern, sitting on a couch in the sky somewhere, either sitting over us with indifference or angry judgment, waiting for me to mess up or didn't really care. Here, Paul paints a very different picture of what we should think about when we think about God. Remind you, verse 19 says, "For in him all the fullness of God was pleased to dwell." It says here that everything was created through Jesus, for Jesus. I believe that when Paul wants us to think about God, he wants us to think about Jesus. And what an incredible picture. He is the image of the invisible God. Before, we saw God in a mirror darkly, but now we see him clearly in the light, in the person of Jesus. And so when you think about God, do you think about the Savior who came to the earth, spit in mud and rubbed it upon the blind man's eyes, and freed him from the prison of his darkness? Do you think of the one who hung on the cross for you? What is your picture of God? Because if you make it into Jesus, it looks like deep, deep love, abiding grace, and poignant truth that wants to point you to abundant life. Let me ask you this simple question. What do you think about when you think about God? And does it look like Jesus?